Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we have something very special. I'm taking you guys along with me as I photograph this beautiful kitchen. We're doing a 2-point composition of this nice kitchen and pretty much just shooting it as if I was shooting it for maybe a real estate client, maybe a design client, but I would say more for like a luxury high-end real estate client. Just trying to give it that extra edge, the extra pop in the image rather than just the boring ambient brackets of a flat scene. So I'm taking you guys along with me. You guys are gonna get to see the actual photo shoot process on site as I'm actually shooting, composing, getting the staging elements all set up. And then after that, we go back to the computer in Lightroom and Photoshop, and you guys can get to see me actually build this whole thing up from scratch, from the ambient files, the flash files, to the finished product. So sit back. I hope you guys all enjoyed this. Let's get to it. All right, let's get this dialed in here. Yeah, I think that's good. I'm about 28 millimeters here. I think I like the way that looks. A little bit of compression into the frame. I think that's pretty nice. I want you guys to notice something. Look how far away I am from the actual island itself. I'm doing that so I can eliminate any kind of distortion. By stepping back and zooming in, I'm kind of getting rid of any kind of distortion. Had I had been very close to the island and had a wide angle lens, things would just be very wonky and distorted. So by stepping back, zooming in, I'm trying to alleviate any kind of distortion so it looks nice and symmetrical without any kind of like bowing and all that kind of stuff. So, and then on top of that, pay attention also to the height of my camera. I'm trying to clear that island and the back area where the stove is at. I want a little bit of that separation so it doesn't look like it's all flush. So people can see like, okay, there is a space between there. So there's a separation between the island and that stove and whatnot. We don't want to have it so it's all one flat plane. We want to have that separation. And by going up higher on the tripod, we can get that effect. Yeah, chairs look good. Nicely balanced. Elements. Let's see here. Only thing I don't like is I don't like how this is a little bit in the way of the faucet. So let's see if we can just make it work for our composition. And if you guys notice, I'm still using the Cam Ranger version 1. It works great with my Canon R5. I really don't see any issues with it. I'm able to control all the settings. I can even change the modes from the Cam Ranger itself. I don't have to touch the camera at all. So far, it's been working great. Doesn't give me any lag or issues at all. So yeah, you might be noticing that older layout, and that's because it's the actual, that's still the first version Cam Ranger. Yeah, there we go. Something like that. We could even turn this a little bit this way. Yeah. There we go. That's nicely balanced. We can maybe move this thing closer this way. Something like that. Chairs look good. How's it look like in the camera? Yeah, I'm okay with that. Something I want you guys to pay attention to. You always want to make sure you compose for the lens, not for the space. What I mean by that is when you're walking around a space, things might be, straight, chairs might be straight and whatnot, and that looks good in person. But when you're in the camera and you have that composition set, things look different. It could be distortion, it could be alignment, all these kind of things. Even though you see it in person, it looks great, but in your composition, it might not. So you want to make sure you take the time to look at your composition and get everything all spaced out, dialed in. It could be moving chairs here and there, shifting them. It could be just, you know, the staging elements on in the scene, right? We just want to make sure we're spacing things nicely so that nothing looks weird and overlapping and cluttered and all that kind of stuff. And even though maybe as you're shifting and moving things in person, it might look weird, but in camera, that's what matters. As long as it looks good in there, that's all that matters. Sometimes I've done things where, you know, the chair is weirdly rotated, and in person it's like, what the heck, that looks so weird, but in the camera looks perfect and there's nice spacing. So just be aware of that. Always compose for the lens, not for the space.
All right, let's go ahead and take our brackets and then we can get started with the flash. So we will use that as our focus point. Take our first set of brackets. All right, let's go ahead and turn on our flash, change our mode to manual mode. And let's just take a preview there. Yeah, that looks good. It's pretty much killing most of the ambient there, which is what I want. I don't like this little bit of light leaking here, but it's okay. It's natural. We'll keep it. All right. So let's go ahead and add our flash. We'll keep our settings here and add some shape to these chairs and get some better color and texture to the rest of the areas of the kitchen. Let's turn the flash trigger on. Okay. Now here, I know I don't need so much power. So let's go ahead and go to 100 on the flash. Let's just take a shot and see what that does. It's probably gonna be really bright. Oh, okay, that works. We got some light there on those chairs. Let's come over here. Yeah, nice. Let's go over here.
So as I'm flashing, my whole purpose is to have the light in the final edit being justified from the direction of those windows. So if that's going to be what I determine to be my key light, that window, all the light and shadow fall off should be coming from that direction. So the right side of that island should be dark with some type of shadowing, right? So I'm trying to get that, even on the chairs, trying to build that shape for all the chair elements and things like that so that you can feel the weight of those elements from that directionality of that light. I'm not just giving it a flat image from lighting it from behind the camera. I'm lighting it from the direction of what I'm determining to be my key light, which are those windows, and then having that fall off come from that direction. So pay attention to that. When I'm lighting, that's the biggest thing I'm looking for is one, determining what's my key light, and then after that, lighting with that purpose so that it's all justified.
And then we will do one just to take ourselves out. Something like here. Not bad. Let's get behind these lights. Let's go here. There we go. And then let's get back in here. We'll do a light pop. Okay. So now that we got our flashes, let's just take a look at our frames here. Yeah, I think that's okay. So now, just so that I have something, I'm gonna do some ambient shots with the lighting on. So let's turn these on. That way, if I choose to add it in later, I can. So we'll just do a bracket with that. All right. Oops. Forgot the timer. There we go. Perfect. Out of all these, if I want to bring in that, I can.
All right, so that was the process of me actually shooting on site. So you guys can see how I'm getting the composition, how I'm lighting, doing lights off, lights on. So I have both those frames if I decide in post that I want the lights on or lights off. And just making sure that everything's dialed in as far as flash settings go, light, shadow, all that kind of stuff. So I have all the elements that I need to take it back in post. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into Lightroom and Photoshop to edit this photo. First off, number one, as you can see, this is just way too flat, right? I do not like the way this looks. There's a bunch of light coming in from all directions. My main goal here is I want to get shadowing here on the backs of this chair, this island, back sides of these chairs, so that all the directionality in this scene looks like it's coming from these windows, right? Like, I just want to make sure that that's the way the light direction's coming in. So if it is coming in from that direction, then of course there should be some type of shadowing here. Even here, I want to make sure I keep this shadow here on this side of the cabinets and whatnot, because it would be shadowed there. If the light's coming in from this way, then there should be some kind of shadowing there. And that just helps to sell the weight and texture and feel of all the elements inside this space. So let's get into the actual images. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at the images that we're gonna take back into Photoshop. So obviously we have our ambient frame here. We have a frame here for our exterior. So as you can see, I color corrected it so that I have a better warmth out there, because the ambient frame itself, if you see, it's a little bit way too cool, right? And way too bright. So just getting a frame for just the window by itself, I'm gonna mask that in later so that way I can have a better image for that exterior. And then these are my flash shots. Here's one from that corner of the kitchen. Here's another one from the side of the island, really coming from the direction of where I want those windows to be coming from, or where I want the light to be coming from those windows. This one is just pretty much a shot in case I want to fill in some areas or take myself out. And as you can see, we have the shadow of the lights landing back there. I don't like that. So I got another shot here behind the actual light, so that way those shadows are not there. So as you can see here, it's a cleaner shot where you don't see those shadows. And then here's another image here. This is just so that I can add some lighting and detail to the back of the area behind the kitchen. This is where the I guess it would be like the walk-in pantry. And then lastly, this is one more shot I got here with the light. So as you can see here with the lights on, this allows me to take this and add it into the image, so that way I have options. If my clients are like, hey, can you have an image with the lights on? No problem. I have this frame that I can bring into Photoshop and just bring the lights to being on and deliver that photo as well. So I have everything I need to make this image the way I want it, whether it's lights off or with lights on. So now once that's done, let's go ahead and take all these images. We're gonna select them all, right click, edit in, and open as layers in Photoshop. All right, so we're all loaded up in Photoshop, so let's go ahead and start building this together. So first things first, I'm looking for an image that looks as close as possible to the end result that I want this image to look like. So based off of these images, obviously it's gonna be one of these flash frames, so I'm gonna bring those flash frames to the bottom here. And I'm just going to turn them on one by one and see which one I like. So it's definitely going to be one of these two, either this one or this one. Yeah, I think this one here is the best one. What I like about this other one is there's more shadowing on this element in the middle, which I might select that and bring that in. So let's go ahead and bring these two layers to the bottom. We'll hide these other ones. So this is going to be my primary image here for the flash. So let's go ahead and take ourselves out. We're going to use this next layer here and use that to take ourselves out. So let's go ahead and make a mask. I'm going to hold Option or Alt and click this image right here underneath that looks like a square with a circle. And that's going to create a black mask. And then if I turn the layer on and I grab my brush tool here, I'm going to make sure I'm on white. And I'm just pretty much going to brush myself out. So I'm painting in that layer that has the information without me standing there. Something like that, right? And I can just check my work. I could take it off and on just to make sure that it's not doing anything that I don't want. Yeah, that's okay. All right, cool. Like I said, I want to darken this little element here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a selection out of it. Grab the object selection tool. It's going to do its thing and see all the objects in the scene. There we go. So I'm just going to select that. Hold Shift, select this also. Perfect. And let's see if we can get this here too. There we go. So now I can come here and I can paint out that area. So we're not showing this layer, we're showing what's underneath it. So let's see. Oh, or we actually have to show the layer, sorry. So actually, I'm revealing what's underneath, on top. There. Okay, that's not bad. Now, let's see here. What don't... I gotta get rid of my reflection back there, so let's see. So somewhere here, we're introducing that reflection. So let's see if we can take that out. Here we go. Remove me here. Something like that. I'm not too worried about the windows. Like I said, we're going to bring that information in later. This is just only right now for these areas here that I'm trying to brush in. So let's go back and grab our selection tool here. And let's see if we can get these again, just to make sure that I'm not adding light to the foreground of it. Okay, grab that. Grab this. All right. Grab my brush. Yeah, there we go. Nice and dark. All right. Perfect. Moving on. So next thing, we kind of got this really hot spot right here, as you can see. So let's see if we can fix that. We have a couple frames here. Yeah, we got this one here. Now this one is a little bit too dark, but it's okay. We can brighten it up a little bit in a little bit. So let's go ahead and make a black mask again. And we're going to grab our brush. And we will go in here and just kind of clean this up here. See that? Kind of cleans it all up. Same thing with the ceiling. I don't really care so much because I'm going to be using an ambient frame to fix this ceiling. I just want to make a clean looking image before I start tackling the ceiling. But for the most part, that's looking pretty good. I like the way that looks so far. All right, let's keep on going. Next, let's tackle this back area here, right? We got all this. So we're going to do the same thing. Put a black mask, hide it, turn the layer on. But this time, we're going to go to screen mode, all right? Screen mode just helps to blend that it's pretty much revealing what's bright, and anything that's dark, it's adding a better gradient transition fall off versus doing light mode. For instance, here, let me take this off so you guys can see. If I go here to screen, you see it's a better transition of fall off from dark to light. Look what happens when I go to light mode. You see it doesn't, it's not as clean, that transition. So what I do is I keep it on screen so it's a better transition. Then I put a black mask on top of it, and I'm just painting back just this area here. Right? Something like that. There we go. I think I want to turn the opacity down just a hair because I don't want it to be so bright where it's drawing me back there. I just want some detail, but I don't need it to be very exposed. So I think something like that, 89% should be good. All right, so looking at what else here. Do I need anything here? Nope, I don't think so. Everything else looks pretty good. Cool. So let's go ahead and bring in our ambient frame here. We're going to use this for our ceiling. So let's go ahead and play a black mask. And we will go up here and just paint this in just to get a better ceiling. I know it's dark. Don't worry about that. We're going to fix that. I'm going to go here, add a curves layer to it, attach it to it, and just going to increase that so it looks better as far as the way the exposure is. Yeah, something like that. That looks pretty good. All right. And then if I really want to be precise, I can just kind of go here and add a little mask here to just keep it off of the back of this kitchen area. So here I can just hit delete. That way it doesn't affect that. We're going to bring in another layer, another ambient layer for that. All right, let's see here. What don't I like? I don't like how dark this is here. So let's just kind of clean that up a little bit. Maybe a little bit. Something like that. That's okay. I'm going to duplicate the ambient layer. I'm going to put it on top here. And this time, delete the layer mask. I'm going to change the blend mode. I'm going to put a mask. Change the blend mode to luminosity. So it's only changing the values of exposure on the image. It's not affecting the color. So now I can kind of come in here and blend in some more of that natural ambient. So it looks, it's a cleaner image. Yes, it's going darker, but we're going to raise these values up here in a second. So same thing, grab a curves layer, attach it, and we will go brighter here. Something like that. That looks pretty good. Okay, so far so good. I like what I'm seeing here. Let's see here. Let's start messing with the color. So let's go here and we're going to grab a hue saturation. And I want to kill some of this yellow. So I'm going to grab this and just kill off some of that yellow. Put a black mask on it by inverting it. And I'm just going to paint where I see that yellow. So let's see, ceiling up here. A little bit in here. A little bit here. Some of the floor. Island. Just so it's not so yellow. Something like that. That looks good. All right, let's grab our blue slider here, and I'm going to turn it all the way up. Do I see anything here? No, that looks good. Actually, let me just double check. I'm going to make another one. I'm going to turn the saturation all the way up. Yeah, there's really no blue coming in here, so I don't have to worry about it. Perfect. So let's delete that. Good. So going back here, do we need this frame at all? No, we do not. Yeah, I think we can go ahead and just delete this. Perfect. All right, so for the most part, that's looking good. Now let's tackle our exterior. So that's our exterior view there. And all we're gonna do, oh, actually, sorry, this is our exterior view. So let's put that underneath. And we'll take the eyeball off. We'll grab our lasso tool, and all we're gonna do is come in here and make a selection around these areas. Zoom in so I can see more detail. There we go. We'll do these up here as well. All right, and then we got this right here. And we're gonna actually go into this staging element on the island because we're gonna use the object selection tool to deselect it from our window mask. So all I'm gonna do is come here, go to the object selection tool, and once it recognizes it, then I can hold and remove it. There we go. So I'm going to hold Option, and it's going to deselect that from the mask. Perfect. Same thing with this. Deselect it. Great. Now we have a nice clean mask. Good. So now we can just go ahead and add our window, and apply the mask to our exterior layer. Turn that layer on. There we go. That's looking good. And all I want to do now is bring up the exposure out there. It's a little bit too dark. So I'm going to use the curves. Oops, there we go. Attach it to only affect that layer. And just raise it up so that it's not dark. I just want to bring up the value of it. Something like that. That looks pretty good. Okay, I'm liking the way it's looking so far. Let's keep seeing if there's anything else here that I want to address. I want to come back to the curves on the ceiling. I just want to see if I need to go darker or brighter. Yeah, we'll go a little bit brighter there. Something like that. That's good. Let's see. Back area here. I think we can actually go a little bit brighter. Yeah, that's all right. Cool. So for the most part, I'm happy with that. Now, to kind of clean this up and finish it off, I'm going to add another curves here on top of it. On top of all my layers. I'm not going to attach it to anything. I'm going to just hit auto. I'm going to see what it thinks the exposure value should be for this. Yeah, it's kind of doing a little bit of contrasty. It's not too bad. So I'm just going to bring it up just a hair, a little bit there. So it just brings up the image as a whole. That's good. I'm going to do another curves here. And I'm going to go and hit this preset. And where it says linear contrast, we're going to click that. And you see, it just adds a little bit of a pop to the image. It's like a micro contrast. It looks so beautiful. I do that to all my images. So that just kind of gives it that nice little clean pop to really make it stand out. If I take that off, see that? It's kind of soft. Adding it, it kind of adds some more crunch to the image. Kind of like that. Now, that's pretty much it for the most part. Now, as far as if we want to add the lights on, all I do is I take that other layer here. And remember we talked about screen mode. All I'm going to do is put a black mask, make it turn it on so that's invisible, change this to screen, and then I'm just going to grab my brush and just go over these areas where the lights are at. See that? It doesn't show any of the black. It's just only showing these brighter areas. That's what we want. Right? Even back here, there's a little strip, a little bit of lighting there. We can add that. That's good. And actually what I'm going to do, because I see some yellow, I'm going to just take it out of that back area. So let's just go here. Just drop that down. Make a mask. And just paint that. There we go. So as you can see, if we wanted to have the lights on, there we go. This is off without it, on with it. So it's up to you, whatever you want for your client. I'm just going to leave it off for now for myself. And then we'll go ahead and save this image. All right, so now that it's saved and we're back into Lightroom, I'm just going to add some final couple little tweaks in here to kind of clean this image up. I'm going to go to my transform tool and I'm going to just make sure I have it nice and vertically straight here. So I'm just going to find some lines here that I can use as guides. There we go. Something like that. Good. And do I want to crop in or anything? Maybe I can just crop in a little bit from here down here. Something like that. Get a little bit closer to the kitchen. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And then other than that, I might add a little bit of clarity. I might open up the whites here. That looks good. Maybe add just a hair of blacks. There you go. I think that looks great. As far as color temperature goes, if you want, you can change it here or not. If I want to go cooler, I can drop it back. That's a little bit cooler. Or leave it the way it was. I think the warmth feels really good. Well, that's it. I hope you guys all enjoyed that. That was a lot to go through as far as, you know, shooting on site and then back in post on Lightroom and Photoshop, building this whole thing up. This is just one of the things that I do when I'm out there shooting. You know, ideally in a best case scenario, there's actually nice natural light coming into the space that I can just pretty much bracket and really don't even need flash. But in this situation, because of the sun and where it's at and the overhang of the roof in this place, there's not really any direct light coming into the kitchen. So adding that supplemental lighting to the scene really helps to make it pop and shine and really show off the colors and texture and weight to the elements in the scene. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. And make sure to like and subscribe, guys. It really lets me know you guys like this type of content so I can keep producing more of it. And leave your comments down below. I love reading and replying to all your comments. And for any of you who like more of these type of videos, take a look at this video here. I go over another kitchen shot where I do the full thing. We go over gear, we go over the actual shooting process, and then once again back at the computer, building this whole thing up from scratch so you guys can see the final result. So thanks again everybody for joining me on this video, and remember, keep on shooting. I'll see you next time.